Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people.
Got one word for you, buddy.
A word like
Today, 95.1 Port Harcourt. Great talk, great radio. The voice of the people. Today. Whether it's happening in Port Harcourt, South South, Nigeria, or around the world, we've got you covered. On air, online, delivering balanced news and unbiased analysis. Today, 95.1 FM.
Good morning, this is the World News on your premium talk radio today 95.1 FM. I am Success David. The headlines. River State Governor Nyesom Wike dissolves State Executive Council. River State Governorship Elections Petition Tribunal dismisses petitions of Labour Party and People's Progressive Party. President of Court of Appeal Zainab Bokachua withdraws from the Presidential Election Tribunal for personal reasons. And on the foreign scene, calls for resignation of British Prime Minister Theresa May intensifies. Now the details. River State Governor Nyesom Wike has dissolved the State Executive Council. Governor Wike, during the valedictory session of the River State Executive Council, commended former members of his cabinet for their contributions to the development of the state. The governor said he will continue to promote River State first at all times, adding that the interest of the state is ahead of all other considerations. The governor also disclosed that some of the members of the dissolved Executive Council would make it back to the new Executive Council.
Yes, cabinet been dissolved. Those of you who are experienced in politics, you know that does not mean that that's the end of you participating in the governance structure. Obviously, it will be impossible to have 100% of everybody to return because of the political structure of our area. I can assure you that obviously some people will come back to the cabinet. I cannot start up a total new cabinet. It's not possible. And so if you are not there, don't see it as if you are hated. No, that may be one reason or the other. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you for this support and believe that we'll continue to work together. On that basis, I hereby dissolve the State Executive Council.
The high point of the valedictory session of the River State Executive Council was the presentation of the special congratulatory card to the governor by the former members of the council. The Cold War between the River State Governor Nyesom Wike and the Nigerian Army has continued, with the governor declaring that he contested the 2019 governorship election against the military and won. Governor Wike declared that the People's Democratic Party clearly defeated the general officer commanding the 6th Division of the Nigerian Army, Major General Jamil Samar, and his political party during the 2019 general elections, saying that the bribery allegation by the GOC is false and mere face-saving measure. The governor spoke during the valedictory session of the River State Executive Council. He said the GOC recently appeared before the House of the Representatives Committee on Army, but never made any such allegation because nothing like that took place. The governor reiterated that the GOC runs an oil bunkering scheme which cannot be swept away by what he described as flimsy allegations. The River State Governorship Elections Petition Tribunal sitting in Port Harcourt has dismissed the petition of the Labour Party and its candidate Isaac Wonwu against the victory of Governor Nyesom Wike. Lead judge of the tribunal, Justice G.K. Kaigama, granted the order following an application by counsel to the Labour Party Uche Elewune, who applied for the withdrawal of the petition and that the petition of Wonwu be struck out. Our correspondent reports that all the lawyers in the matter did not oppose the application of the Labour Party to withdraw from the tribunal. Counsel to the Labour Party, Uche Elewune, in an interview with newsmen, spoke on the decision of his client to withdraw his petition.
My clients being the candidate of Labour Party, Chief Isaac Wong, and the party itself, having come to terms that there is need for them to have a synergy with the governor, they decided in their wisdom that at this point they want to let the petition go. And that's strictly what we have come to do this morning. And the court, in its wisdom, has graciously granted that. And the petition has been struck out. The election petition is sui generis. Unlike ordinary civil matters that if a matter is struck out, maybe you can come back and release. In election petition matter, once a matter is struck out or dismissed as the case, once it's struck out, that's the end of the matter. So we're not coming back here. That's it's a goodbye to this particular tribunal.
In the same vein, the three-man election petition tribunal has also dismissed the petition of the People's Progressive Party, PPP, against the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and its candidate Governor Nyesom Wike and the Independent National Electoral Commission. The petition of PDP was dismissed following the application of the withdrawal by the party. Counsel to PPP Chibuzo Ezike, who is also the national legal advisor of the party, told newsmen outside the court that his party, after due consultation, decided to withdraw the petition for the interest of Rivers State. Ezike also dismissed insinuations that the withdrawal was linked to monetary inducement.
The decision of the National Executive Committee of the party, after due consultation and taking judicial notice of what happened in the last election in Rivers State and in the interest of the public and Nigerians and the people of Rivers State, the party decided to take other routes available to them. When people were in court, we had the affidavit of affidavit against illegal withdrawal. It's not. It's just for the interest of the River State people and Nigeria at large.
Also speaking, counsel to INEC Abdul Karim Mustafa, who is a senior advocate of Nigeria, spoke on why he opted for the dismissal of the matter instead of striking out as sought by the Labour Party, as stated in the Electoral Act.
The petitioners, in their wisdom, decided to withdraw the petition, but before they withdrew, the third respondent, that is INEC, filed a notice of plenary objection that the petition be dismissed, that it lacks merit and is not in compliance with the Electoral Act of 2010 as amended. Based on that, they apparently they came up and decided to withdraw, and we filed relevant affidavit to show that there's no collusion, and more importantly, we urge the court to dismiss the petition, not to strike it out. There's a difference. The reason why we ask for dismissal is because we have joined issues. We have filed a plenary objection and we have filed a reply to their petition. And the court agreed with us that the proper order to make is to dismiss the petition, and the court accordingly dismissed the petition.
Meanwhile, the Elections Petition Tribunal sitting in Port Harcourt will today hear a motion in the petition filed by the African Action Congress and its candidate Bill Boma Awara against the Independent National Electoral Commission, the People's Democratic Party, and its candidate Governor Nyesom Wike. Senior lawyer Chijioke Tasi, who appeared for both African Action Congress and its candidate, informed the court of an ex parte motion for a change of legal representation. If the motion is granted, Chijioke Tasi and his team will only represent the governorship candidate of AAC, while Henry Bello will represent the party. The three-man panel led by Justice G.K. Kaigama, after listening to the argument from the parties, adjourned to today to hear the motion. Speaking outside the court, Chijioke Tasi and Henry Bello, who are both counsels to AAC, and its candidate, spoke with newsmen on the development.
Motion ex parte, and in the course of events, the second petitioner filed a notice of change of counsel, and to that effect, the motion ex parte would not go on, and it has been adjourned. Mr. H.A. Bello.
In exercise of their right to counsel of their choice, enshrined in Section 36 of the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, and garnished by the provisions of extant rules of the Federal High Court and Election Petition Tribunal, AAC decided to choose me and my colleagues as their counsel to appear for them in place of highly respected senior advocate of Nigeria, Taiwo E. Taiwo. So we have a situation therefore where we have Taiwo E. Taiwo appearing for the first petitioner, Awara, and my humble self and my colleagues appearing for AAC.
More stakeholders have continued to express concerns over the rising insecurity in Ogoniland. The Apex Socio-Cultural Organization in Ogoniland, Kadote, also condemned the recent killings in the area by suspected cultists. The spokesman of Kagote, Chief Livinu Bikel, who spoke on interview with our correspondent, also expressed concerns over the activities of a group known as Bo Kabari, who they said went against the agreements reached at a meeting of all stakeholders of Ogoniland held in Thai local government area of the state. Bikel said the group had gone ahead to call a separate meeting of some youth leaders against the arrangements that all paramount leaders in Ogoniland should take charge in sanitizing their community of crime traditionally within 14 days.
Because after the communique was read out to people, that after 14 days, everything will be done traditionally and otherwise to ensure that that kind of thing did not happen. All of a sudden, some people who call themselves Pakabari woke up and called another meeting of the youths. And the traditional ruler said, no, this was not the arrangement. And from there, the thing started coming up again. So there is the tendency for me to put the blame on the Pakabari, because they violated the terms of the agreement reached at the Sakwe meeting.
The Kagote spokesman also preferred possible solutions to the recent criminal activities in the Ogoniland.
First of all, the Pakabari people should be called to question, and then another meeting would be arranged where things will be put in the proper perspective. But when everybody who is who in Ogoni sit down, met and took such a decision, it was very, very unfortunate that things like that should happen. These are people who are seeking for something for their personal need. Otherwise, why would anybody do something otherwise from what was agreed upon generally by the Ogoni ethnic nationality at that meeting?
And in another story, the management of the Rivers State University has expressed its readiness to partner with the Nigerian Army in sourcing local content for its operations. Vice Chancellor of Rivers State University, Professor Blessing Didier, gave the assurance while receiving a research team from Army headquarters in Abuja. Professor Didier, who spoke on the research base of the university, said the program would cement relationship between the Army and the university. Leader of the delegation and head of transformation and innovation Army headquarters, Major General Agugo, said the university has been chosen by the Nigerian Army as a research center for the sourcing of local materials for the production of military hardware.
Intellectual products from this university to improve the local content of the provisioning for our military logistics and equipment that we use for our operations. The university's larger gain is in the fact that they are contributing to national development by contributing to the Nigerian Army. That's the first thing. Now, but the second thing is that it will also continue to encourage the university lecturers who are the owners of the intellectual products, who do the work and produce things that are usable.
The National Butchers Union of Nigeria are warning the general public to be careful on the kind of meat they purchase in the market, eateries and from meat-selling outlets in Rivers State. Rivers State Chairman of the union, Alhaji Musa Ahmed, gave the advice in an interview with correspondent Erfreda Alerichi. Baba Ahmed, while disassociating its members from the sale of chemically preserved meat, stressed that whatever illness that comes in the state as a result of the meat consumption is not from any of their slaughters.
The meat that is containing that chemical, the chemical is formalin, which they use in mortuary, washing all these dead bodies. So those who are using that is those butchers from that bring meat. You see all these big companies where they supply meat to auction. This they do come to our slaughter and other slaughters to buy meat to feed all these fast food and the rest of them. But now they are not coming. No. Why? Because they do get any kind of meat very cheap. Our fear, if there is any disease, an epidemic, they say, is butchers, while our hands is clean. If you see meat is very, very cheap, fly no the near them, avoid that meat. And make sure there are certain butchers who have been there for years. Do business with them.
On his part, Rivers State Chairman of the Nigerian Veterinary Medical Association, Fidel SM, condemned the use of formalin chemical used for meat preservation, adding that such chemicals are cancerous, capable of damaging the liver, lungs, and other vital parts of the body. Few days ago, the Ministry of Agriculture in Rivers State set up a committee to rid the market of meat preserved with formalin, which is a chemical used by morticians to preserve dead bodies. You're still listening to the World News on Today 95.1 FM, Voice of the People. After the break, more news before the foreign scene. Stay tuned.
Every day, every hour. When the big stories break, depend on our 24-hour news team to bring you the latest. Today, 95.1 FM.
Welcome back. This is the news on Today 95.1 FM. The Nigerian Senate has urged the Rivers State government to immediately liaise with the security agencies in the state to stop incessant killings and kidnapping of innocent citizens. The Senate came up with a resolution following a motion titled "Frightening Killings in Rivers State," moved by Senator Andrew Uchendu of Rivers East Senatorial District. The Senate also urged the federal and the Rivers State's government to develop workable strategies that would stop the rising cases of killings in this state. Nigeria's upper chamber therefore appealed to all sons and daughters of Rivers State to work toward finding a lasting peace in this state. The chairman of the Presidential Election Petitions Tribunal, Justice Zainab Bolkachua, has withdrawn from the tribunal for personal reasons. Her withdrawal comes after the tribunal dismissed an application by the People's Democratic Party and its candidate in the presidential election, Atiku Abubakar, asking Justice Bolkachua to recuse herself from the tribunal. The PDP and Abubakar had based their application, among other things, on the ground that Justice Bolkachua is the wife of Adamu Bolkachua, a prominent member of the All Progressives Congress and Senate-elect of Bauchi North Senatorial District, which is a political party involved in this suit. However, in delivering the lead ruling on the application, Justice Peter Ige said not enough materials had been presented before the court to show that Justice Bolkachua will be biased in the hearing and the decisions on the petition. Stressing that her relationship is not capable of prejudicing the case, Justice Ige concluded that the petitioners have not satisfied the requirements for the president of the tribunal to recuse herself. Justice Bolkachua, on her part, agreed with the lead judgment and dismissal of the application, but said she will recuse herself for personal reasons. She explained that she insisted that the matter be heard by the full court, so that in the future, another female judge will not face the same thing she faced. President Muhammadu Buhari has directed ministers to continue working in their capacity until Tuesday, May 28, 2019. President Buhari gave the directive at the Valedictory Federal Executive Council meeting held at the State House in Abuja. The president acknowledged that the meeting was the last of his cabinet for 2015 to 2019 tenure, but told the ministers to keep working and prepare to hand over to the permanent secretaries of their various ministries. The minister also expected to submit their handover letters to the Secretary of the Government of the Federation on the same date. In the meantime, President Muhammadu Buhari has directed that the Apapa gridlock be cleared up immediately. President Buhari also ordered that immediate removal of all trucks from the bridges and roads within Apapa and all adjoining streets leading to the area. Apapa has been known for gridlock, which has crippled commercial activities despite being referred to as the gateway to the nation's economy due to the siting of ports and terminals. But in a series of tweets on his official Twitter handle, the presidency gave truck operators and drivers 72 hours, I beg your pardon, to vacate access roads to the port. The presidency also set up a task force headed by President Yemi Osinbajo to clear up the gridlock in Apapa and its environs within 2 weeks. And on the foreign scene, 5 NGO workers in Zimbabwe have been charged with plotting to overthrow the government. They appeared before a higher magistrate where they were alleged to have received training in the Maldives in acts of terrorism and civil disobedience. The state says they had attended a workshop there organized by a Serbian group. The 5 who were arrested at her airport on their return have, however, denied the charges. The British Prime Minister Theresa May in facing growing calls to resign amid the backlash against her Brexit plan from Conservative members of Parliament. Several cabinet members have told the BBC that May cannot stay, with one saying it is the end of the line. Others, however, insist that Theresa May should push on with her plan to put her withdrawal agreement bill to a vote. Sources said the Chief Whip, Julian Smith, has informed backbench MPs that the Prime Minister is not resigning. And on entertainment, pop icon Rihanna has released a campaign video for her luxury fashion brand Fenty, featuring popular CMS bus stop in Lagos State. The clip shows a wide range of women posing against the backdrop of various sites across the world, including the ever-busy CMS bus stop. The singer, businesswoman, songwriter, and actress is regarded as one of the most influential contemporary recording artists, known for embracing versatile musical styles and reinventing her image through her career. Now to end the news, here is a summary of the major stories. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has dissolved the State Executive Council as he promises to reappoint some of the former members. The Rivers State Governorship Elections Petition Tribunal has dismissed the petitions of the Labour Party and the People's Progressives Party. The President of Court of Appeal, Zainab Bolkachua, has withdrawn from the Presidential Election Tribunal for personal reasons. And on the foreign scene, the calls for the resignation of the British Prime Minister Theresa May has intensified. And that was the news. It was edited by Chinedu Iwuna. For comments and inquiries, please call 08153418657 or 08144343502 or send your emails to news@todayfmlive.com. You can also read our stories on www.todayfmlive.com. I am Success David. Many thanks for listening and do have a good morning.
Today's news, today's entertainment, today's sports, today's issues. Today on Today95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Port Harcourt, are you ready? Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Radio has never been this good. Today, 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt.
Today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
My name is Ifeanyi. I'm calling you from. Hello?
Yes, today 95.1 FM. Good morning.
My name is William. I'm calling from Port Harcourt.
All right, William from Port Harcourt. Go ahead.
Talk radio.
You have a right to say no, right? All right.
I'm calling from Unipua.
Okay, thank you so much for Unipua.
We are the station that needs no introduction. Of course, you know, we give the best in news, sports.
You like football, right?
entertainment, politics, in fact, call it talk.
Yes, we know there's a lot you want to hear, and that is why we talk about everything.
Talk radio.
We're right before you. It's just a dial away. This is your number one premium talk radio. Today, 95.1 FM. Voice of the people.
Let's talk football. Let's talk football.
What a devastating strike!
Football is a leisure game.
Sports is actually my job.
Football is boring.
That's not true. It's way more important than that.
What a wonderful goal! Fantastic strike!
As far as I'm concerned, sports is all about passion.
Sports Attack, weekdays 7:30 a.m. and Today Sports Live 3 p.m. Weekends 1 p.m. to 6 p.m.
For all you need to know in the world of sports, leave the dial on Today 95.1 FM.
A very good morning to you all out there and welcome to yet another exciting edition of Sports Attack on your premium news talk and sports radio station. Today, 95.1 FM right here in Port Harcourt. The Mecca is my name, and I'll be serving you the latest and trending sports stories that made the rounds over the last 24 hours. Of course, I've got stories from handball, athletics, boxing, tennis, and lots more on the show this morning. So don't go anywhere, because I'll be right back to serve you the juicy details after this timeout.
Hi everyone, my name is Ese Brume, Commonwealth and African long jump champion. You're listening to Sports Attack on Today 95.1 FM, Port Harcourt. Don't touch that dial.
All right, we begin the show this morning from handball, where President of the Handball Federation of Nigeria, HFN, Samuel Ocheho, is calling on corporate bodies to assist the federation in funding the junior male national handball team to attend the World Junior Handball Championships holding in Barcelona, Spain. The biennial competition will be staged from 25th to 28th of July 2019 in the Catalan city. President of the Handball Federation of Nigeria, of course, he says the competition, Nigeria qualified for the championship alongside Egypt and Tunisia at the Africa Junior Nations Cup held in Morocco earlier this year. Let's hear from Ocheho.
We've been able to attend every international competition that we are able to attend, and our league. So we can see, what we're seeing now is that we're seeing new players. We're seeing players from under 18 category already playing in the league. And for us, I think that is a testament to the fact that the game is progressing in Nigeria.
All right, the HFN boss also stated that the players have worked really hard to earn qualification for the World Championships.
Some of them since March have not been to their homes because they've been moving from one championship to the other, and they've been in camp. So now they probably, again, immediately after the league, some of them will still remain behind and going to camp immediately because we are going to Georgia for the IHF Emerging Nations Tournament. So you can see up to 17th of June, some of them may not still touch their home. And immediately after 17th of June, the under 21 guys again might probably go back into camp because we have the World Cup starting July 15th.
All right, the last time Nigeria played at the World Championships was 34 years ago. Nigeria is drawn with France, Egypt, Sweden, Korea, and Australia for the under 21 World Championships for this year's tournament. All right, moving on the show, let's go to wrestling, where the Nigeria Wrestling Federation, NWF, has approved a total of 39 different events for the 3rd Governor Dixon National Wrestling Classics in Yenagoa, Bayelsa State. All the 10 senior weight classes in each of the 3 wrestling styles will feature at the championships to be staged between 15th and 30th June at the Indoor Sports Hall of the Samson Siasia Sports Stadium. Now, in women wrestling, the following events will be competed for: 50 kg, 53 kg, 55 kg, 57, 59, 62, 60 65, 68, 72, and 76 kilogram right there. While athletes will also vie for honors in the freestyle events in these weight classes: 57, 61, 65, 70, 74, 79, 86, 92, 97, and 125 kg. Also in the Greco-Roman style, the senior wrestlers will compete in the 55, 66, 60, 63, 67, 72, 77, 82, 87, 97, and 130 kilogram categories. A statement by the technical director of the NWF, Sir Damian Ohaike, informed that 3 weight classes for cadets, under 15 athletes in each of the 3 styles will also feature at the tournament, which will equally serve as qualifiers for the 12th All-Africa Games in Rabat, Morocco, and the 2019 World Championship later this year in Kazakhstan. Let's move on to athletics on the show this morning, where the Federal Ministry of Youth and Sports is set to refund the $130,000 mistakenly paid to the country as grants by the International Association of Athletics Federation, the IAAF. This was disclosed by the Technical Director of the Athletics Federation of Nigeria, AFN, Sunday Adeleye, who attended a closed-door meeting called by the Sports Minister, Solomon Dalong, on Tuesday. The meeting was called to seek ways to avoid possible sanctions by Athletics World Governing Body IAAF over the country's inability to refund $130,000 to the world body. Now, it will be recalled that the debt occurred when the IAAF mistakenly paid $150,000 to AFN instead of the yearly $20,000 grant in 2017. The world body promptly notified the AFN of the mistake and demanded that the excess of $130,000 it paid into the Treasury single account of the Sports Ministry 2 years ago be refunded. And still in athletics, Kenya's former athletics team manager, Michael Rotich, has been banned for 10 years for agreeing to provide advance notice to athletes of doping tests in exchange for money, the IAAF announced yesterday. Rotich was exposed by 2 undercover journalists from the Sunday Times in an article published in August 2016 and was sent home in disgrace from the Olympic Games in Rio, which were underway at the time. He was also provisionally banned by the IAAF from his coaching job. In a statement yesterday, the IAAF's ethics board panel said Rotich had offered to warn athletes of impending tests so they could flush doping substances from their system in order to circumvent tests. And go to Mixed Martial Arts this morning. We are Conor McGregor. Yes, Mr. Notorious. He insists his war and with Khalid Nurmagomedov is not over, but the Irishman claims his UFC rival is running from a rematch. All right, McGregor and Khabib, we are embroiled in a dramatic UFC 229 showdown in October when a submission victory for the Russian sparked a mass brawl inside and outside the octagon. Both fighters were banned for their roles in the altercation, with the Irishman handed a 6-month suspension and $40,000 fine, and Khabib slapped with a 9-month layoff and ordered to pay £400,000. Now, McGregor has yet to fight since, and speaking to Tony Robbins, he tried to talk his rival into a rematch by taunting him about a punch he landed during the post-fight melee. Now, McGregor said, and I quote, "At the end of the day, I landed the final blow of the night right on Khabib's brother's eye socket. So at the end of the day, although the match didn't go my way, the fight went my way. Trust me when I tell you, Tony, this war is not over. If this fight does not happen again, if it does not get reset, it's on them. They are running away. I'm here for the fight, here for the rematch." McGregor announced his retirement earlier this year, but appears to be keen to step back in. And in boxing, Manny Pacquiao, has stated that he decided to face Keith Thurman because the American was undefeated. Pacquiao, who is an 8th division champion, will fight the unbeaten welterweight world champion Thurman on Saturday at the MGM Grand Arena in Las Vegas. The duo went face-to-face on Tuesday in New York at a press conference, with Pacquiao stating that the undefeated nature of his opponent was his motivation, and that he is not retiring soon. Manny Pacquiao on Sports Attack this morning.
And I'm so excited for this fight because I'm fighting with undefeated. Keith Thurman is he's kind of fighter that you cannot underestimate. He's undefeated, and then this is give me more encouragement, motivation to work hard, like what I did before in my previous fights. against a big name in boxing. My time is not yet over. My career is, my journey will continue. That's what I want to prove on July 20.
All right, sir. You heard from Manny Pacquiao right there. And for the welterweight champion, Keith Thurman, it's the dawn of a new era for boxing, and Pacquiao will disappear come July 20th.
For those who know boxing and truly understand boxing history, times change. I believe boxing has come to a new era. Floyd is gone. Pacquiao is here. Come July 20th, he will disappear, okay? He will disappear. He announced him as a senator. He belongs as a senator in the Philippines. With all respect, he is a legend. He will always be remembered in the sport. But I'm doing to Manny Pacquiao what he did to Oscar De La Hoya. You can Google it if you want to. Oscar De La Hoya never fought again, all right? Facts. Manny Pacquiao is a legend. He's done great things. I've never fought, I never lost to a fighter who's lost 7 times. I have no intentions of losing to Manny Pacquiao. I don't see him winning any way, shape, or form. This most likely will be Manny Pacquiao's last fight.
All right, Keith Thurman right there. They know how to talk tough, don't they? The boxers, I tell you, verbal jabs are coming in from the welterweight champion Keith Thurman. Let's talk Formula One on the show this morning because an emotional Lewis Hamilton was excused from attending an official news conference yesterday ahead of this weekend's Monaco Grand Prix following the death of Niki Lauda. Defending 5-time world champion who is 34 years of age arrived in the Mediterranean Principality to begin preparations for the classic race and was promptly withdrawn from the media event at the request of his Mercedes team. The F1 defending champion was described as being emotional following the death of Lauda on Monday. He was due to attend the news briefing alongside Ferrari's driver, Charles Leclerc, and Dutchman Max Verstappen of Red Bull. In basketball, the Tigers forward, Jordan Nwora, is keen on fulfilling a lifelong dream playing for Nigeria at the FIBA Basketball World Cup, which tips off in China later this year. The Louisville Cardinals player posted an outstanding performance for the Tigers during the FIBA Basketball World Cup 2019 African qualifiers, hitting an unprecedented 36 points against Mali to set a new tournament best. And quoting him, he says, "It's always an honor to be able to represent a country in the World Cup, which is one of the biggest competitions in basketball. I am proud and grateful to be able to represent Nigeria. I am thankful to my teammates and my coaches for putting me in the position to be able to have a great outing in the qualifiers. I'm hopeful that we will be able to do great things in the World Cup and bring some wins home to Nigeria." Of course, Jordan Nwora, the son of the head coach of the side, Alex Nwora, speaking right there. In their 2 previous appearances at the FIBA Basketball World Cup in 1998 and 2006, the Tigers have never been able to go past the round of 16. And that's all on other sports this morning. Football is up next on Sport Attack this morning. Don't go anywhere.
For the best and most incisive sporting reports, tune in to Sports Attack on Today 95.1 FM every week morning at 7:30 a.m. My name is Daniel Igale, President of the Nigeria Wrestling Federation. I also listen to the show.
All right, welcome back. The show is still Sports Attack, and it's time to talk football. We go to the MPFL, where Nigeria Professional Football League coaches, players, and officials are to honor late coach Solomon Ogbede by wearing black armbands during fixtures of match day 22 on Sunday, May 26. Chairman of the League Management Company, LMC, Malam Shehu Diko, who announced the decision, described the news of the Lobby Stars coach as a grave loss to the league and hundreds of players he trained in over 2 decades of his career as football coach in our league. Now, Ogbede reportedly slumped and died Monday morning after complaining of feeling unwell in Makurdi hours before their last home fixture of the season against Wiki Tourist. Now, Diko said the LMC would go to lengths to honor those who have contributed in any capacity to the development of the league. And of course, we go to the Flying Eagles camp right now. We are Nigeria's under-20 boys. The one we love to call the Flying Eagles have been fully schooled on best practices and moves and gestures to avoid unfit at the FIFA Under-20 World Cup Finals opening in Poland today. Immediately after the FIFA arrival meeting traditionally held to welcome participating teams to the FIFA World Cup, FIFA referee instructor Jerome Damon took the players and officials on the new laws of the game, which would hold sway at the finals. Following their arrival in Poland on Sunday and the first training on Monday, concentration is now fully on Friday's opening match of Group D against Qatar at the 15,300 capacity Taichi Stadium in the Slacks region of Poland. Meanwhile, Manchester City, Nigeria under-20 midfielder Tom Dele-Bashiru has been singled out by World Football Governing Body FIFA as the star player in the under-20 team of Nigeria ahead of the start of the under-20 World Cup right there in Poland. While doing a profile on players to watch at the tournament, FIFA on their official website listed the former England under-16 international as one of the star players who will be gracing the tournament, in a list which also has the son of the president of Liberia, Timothy Weah of PSG. Dele-Bashiru was convinced to switch allegiance to Nigeria by coach Paul Aigbogun, and bearing a late-minute slump in his form, he will play in a three-man midfield, which include Kingsley Michael and Nnamdi of Fobo. Now, a strong performance at the tournament will also help him secure a high-profile move from Man City after turning down the offer of a contract extension proposed by him to the club with his contract winding down this summer. Now, Dele-Bashiru, however, has said that it's a great privilege and opportunity to represent Nigeria. Let's hear from the youngster.
It's a great privilege representing my country, really welcoming. They helped me get settled in very quickly. Training's been good, very intense, and we're starting to bond together, gel together on the pitch, so it'll be good to see what we can do at the tournament.
All right, the Under-20 World Cup, of course, starts today, the 2019 edition in Poland. There are two matches today. Senegal will be in action. We also have the host, Poland, in action. When we come for Sports Attack, today's Sports Live in the afternoon, we'll tell you more about those games. And, of course, let's go to the Super Falcons camp right now, because the number one goalkeeper of the side, Tochukwu Oluehi, has said that she is feeling good ahead of the World Cup. The Falcons shotstopper talked about her recovery from injury as well as the team's triumph during her absence in the Wafu Cup in Abidjan over the weekend.
Much okay, very okay. For the training and the doctor that was assigned to me to take me on, it has been so great and wonderful. So now I am fully ready for the tournament. Yeah, I was so happy and surprised, because I know they will do it. Ever since we've been in camp, the dedication, the aggression, the zeal and everything that they've been putting on in training and all that. Yeah, I know going to Ivory Coast, if they put in what the coaches taught them and all that, and rightly they really did well. They show class. They really proved that what they've learned in Abuja was not just a waste. So they went there and implemented. So I'm really happy for them. Kudos to them.
All right, the Rivers Angels goalkeeper who arrived Austria with the Falcons squad earlier this week also added that training in the same facility that was used by the Super Eagles ahead of the World Cup would really help the team.
Seeing us going to Austria is a very good opportunity for each and every one of us, because it's going to really help us very well in focusing on our training, our matches and all that. Going to Austria is a very good preparation for we, and we want to say thank you to the NFF also for approving the place where the Super Eagles use in preparation for the World Cup. I believe using there will really help us also in the World Cup. I want to go to France and do my best not to concede any goals, just to make sure that I am on top of one of the best goalkeepers in France.
All right, we wish Tochukwu Oluehi and the Super Falcons the best. Let's go now to their senior brothers, the Super Eagles.
Super Eagles, no tension, you are winning. By the grace of God, you shall win.
All right, former Super Eagles international Tijani Babangida has hinted that Nigeria are not the clear favorites for the AFCON title in Egypt. Babangida highlighted the fact that despite the fact that the Nigeria has a good team, we are not 100% above the rest, as 2 or 3 teams can still compete favorably with the Eagles. Let's hear from Tijani Babangida.
Not that we don't have a good team, we have a very young, promising team. And you can see that in Africa right now, most of the top countries in Africa, they are not They are also not having a top team right now. So I think that Nigeria are above them now. Maybe we are like 80% now in making our own team than the others. And if you see, maybe 2 or 3 countries can be able to compete with Nigeria now in the Nation Cup.
Tijani Babangida right there. In the meantime, former Barcelona winger and of course the current Tanzania coach Emmanuel Amuneke believes it will be a tough tournament for all comers.
A lot of countries they have developed, and you can see their players are doing very good. So we expect to see a very tough competition. Of course, you still have the teams that are more experienced, teams that have been there always in the AFCON. So, but in football, you can never really predict. It all depends on what you're coming on with on board, and it all depends on how ready you are from psychological to the tactical aspect of the games.
All right, Emmanuel Amuneke right there. Of course, he led Tanzania to qualify for the AFCON for the first time in 39 years. Still talking about Super Eagles, but this time a player of the team. Yes, Henry Onyekuru. Everton, we understand, are reportedly demanding a fee in the region of 15 million euros for the permanent transfer of Henry Onyekuru, who had a hugely impressive 2018/19 season on loan at Galatasaray in Turkey. Reports on Tuesday claimed that Galatasaray will make a move for the striker now that the Turkish season has ended. But Everton's stance over the player is making things difficult for the Turkish Super League club. On Monday, Galatasaray Vice President Abdurrahim Albarak spoke to TRT Sport, saying Onyekuru would like to continue with the Istanbul side after helping them retain their league title. And according to reports, Galatasaray manager Fatih Terim is also a big fan of Onyekuru, as previously reported in Turkey, and the coach too wants to continue with the Nigerian winger. And of course, however, Everton are demanding nothing less than 50 million euros for the 21-year-old Switch. And of course, it is also reported by the Turkish newspaper that Onyekuru has caught the attention of Valencia and AS Monaco, and both clubs could make their offers to Everton this summer. In the meantime, a source close to the player confirmed that Onyekuru will be in Germany next week, but refused to reveal if the trip is in connection with the rumors linking him with a move to Bayern Munich. Reports in Turkey suggest he will be in Germany next week to seal a switch to Bayern Munich, who are in the market for wide forwards like Onyekuru following the departure of Frank Ribery and Ian Robben. Let's leave the Super Eagles right now and go to the continent of Africa, where Ghana's all-time leading scorer and most capped player Asamoah Gyan has made a sensational U-turn on his international retirement following a request from the country's president. Now, Gyan announced on Monday he had withdrawn himself from consideration for Black Stars duty ahead of the Africa Cup of Nations, which starts in Egypt next month, over a disagreement relating to his captaincy with coach James Kwesi Appiah. However, the 33-year-old went back on his decision just 2 days later after holding talks with Ghana President Nana Akufo-Addo. Ghana will face Cameroon, Benin Republic and Guinea-Bissau in Group F when they look to claim their first AFCON title since 1982. Let's go to the host. Here is Egypt, because they have officially made public their provisional 25-man squad with Premier League duo Mohamed Salah and Mohamed El Neni leading the pack. Liverpool star Salah, who is currently injured, El Neni of Arsenal. We are two notable names found on the list released by coach Javier Aguirre on Tuesday. Also included West Brom defender Ahmed Hegazi, Aston Villa's Ahmed El Mohammadi, and Mohamed Hassan Trezeguet, who plies his trade in the Turkish Super League. The Pharaohs find themselves in Group A alongside the trio of Uganda, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Zimbabwe. Okay, let's go to women football once again, where Lyon striker Ada Hegerberg has been voted the BBC Women's Footballer of the Year 2019. The award, voted for by fans across the world, comes 4 days after she scored a hat-trick in the Champions League final as her side lifted the trophy. And of course, I will quote her now. She says, "It's a roller coaster of feelings. It's amazing." That's what she told the BBC. Now, Denmark and the Wolfsburg striker Pernille Harder finished second in the public vote, with Australia and Chicago Red Stars forward Sam Kerr coming third. And we can also let you know that plans to expand the 2022 World Cup to 48 teams have been abandoned by FIFA. FIFA President Gianni Infantino said last year the expansion from 32 teams could be brought forward from 2026 to 2022 tournament in Qatar. The change would have required Qatar to share hosting duties with other countries in the region. And World Football Governing Body said after a thorough and comprehensive consultation process, the change could not be made now. And FIFA also said it explored the possibility of Qatar hosting a 48-team tournament on its own, but has decided not to pursue those plans as there was not enough time for a detailed assessment of the potential logistical impact. That's it from FIFA right there. Okay, let's go to club football right now, and we can tell you that Raheem Sterling has continued his campaign against racism by saying it is not enough to boycott social media and wear T-shirts in protest against discrimination. Sterling, who was speaking at a Wall Street Journal event in New York, said there must be harder punishment for racist abuse if the footballing world is to take the issue seriously. The Manchester City and England forward, who was named the Football Writers Association Player of the Year in part because of his impact beyond the pitch this season, was invited to speak as a part of a conference featuring groundbreaking leaders, innovators, and change makers. Sterling said he was not in favor of campaigns such as social media boycotts because he believes they lack a long-lasting impact.
After the situation that I had at Chelsea, they came to me with an idea, but I didn't agree with the idea. It was a Premier League, a social media blockout. And I just said to them, I simply don't agree with what you want to put out. It's a social media post. It's going to happen for one day. And by 2 days' time, it's all forgotten about. Also, kick it out, do a lot in England as well. A few times they get us to wear a T-shirt, yeah, but again, it's not enough. There needs to be harder punishment, and I think the harder punishments need to be, teams getting deducted, teams getting kicked out, because this is when people start taking it serious.
Ryan Sterling right there. To us now we go, because the managing director, Vinay Venkatesham, blasted UEFA after it was decided Henrik Mkhitaryan would not play in the Europa League final due to security concerns. The 30-year-old will not travel with the squad to Baku due to the tensions between Azerbaijan and his native Armenia. Speaking of the situation, Vinay said he struggled to find the words to explain how he felt, insisting that the position is unacceptable. Now, the managing director said after the final, they will explain to UEFA why it's unacceptable and must avoid it happening to Arsenal or any other club ever again. And meanwhile, Nigeria's Alex Iwobi says they will miss Henrik Mkhitaryan, but they will play to win the trophy for him.
Yeah, he's contributed a lot for us to get to where we are so far to the final, but it's very upsetting. We want him to come, but it is what it is. We're going to fight and hopefully win a trophy, not just for us, but for him. He spoke to us today and said, obviously, he's taken the decision that he can't go. It was very upsetting to hear at the start of the training session, but we have to not let it distract us and focus on the final.
All right, that was our own Alex Iwobi. Let's now hear from the Arsenal manager, Unai Emery, who insists that he will respect the decision of Henrik Mkhitaryan amidst the political tension.
We cannot do anything for these issues. It's very, very personal, personal decision, and we need to respect him. And I don't understand now their political problems, but I must respect. He wants to play, but they spoke, both family and him, and decided not to go. I cannot push him to come with us because I respect him, and for me it's very important if he's with us for the match, for help with his quality and his capacity. But this issue is not in my hand, and I respect him 100%.
Arsenal coach right there, Unai Emery. Chelsea manager Mauricio Sarri will hold talks with the club over his future after the Europa League final, but denied his job is on the line if they fail to beat Arsenal in the final. Now, Sarri has 2 years left on his contract, but has been linked with a return to Italy with Juventus or Roma. When asked if the Europa League final against Arsenal could be his final game in charge, the Italian had this to say.
It's Wednesday, I think. I need to think only to the final in this moment. I have two years of contract here. So I have no contact with other club at the moment. So I have to speak with my club first of all. After the final. No, I want to know if they are happy with me or not. Only this, but I have two more years contract. I am not able in this moment to think about the next season or more. I am only able to think about the final.
All right, the Italian tactician refused to shed any light on whether the Europa League final would be Eden Hazard's last game for Chelsea. The Belgian has 1 year left on his Chelsea contract and is wanted by Real Madrid amidst other clubs. Let's hear from Sarri one more time, this time on Hazard.
Hazard is good for every team, of course, but is really very good also for us. I hope that he will stay with us, but we need to be ready if he will decide something different.
In Spain, Barcelona goalkeeper Marc-Andre ter Stegen has been ruled out of the Copa del Rey final due to a knee problem. The German international missed the final 3 La Liga games of the season while undergoing treatment for an issue in his right knee. The club confirmed yesterday that ter Stegen will still has discomfort and is therefore unavailable for the match with Valencia at the Benito Villamarin on Saturday. It means Jasper Cillessen is likely to start, despite reports suggesting he has agreed to leave the club to join Benfica in the coming transfer window. And of course, we can also let you know that Willy Caballero has signed a new 1-year contract with Chelsea. The 37-year-old goalkeeper, who joined after leaving Manchester City in 2017, is now committed to Stamford Bridge until the end of the 2019/20 season. Caballero has played 22 times for Chelsea, having operated mostly as a backup to Thibaut Courtois and then Kepa Arrizabalaga this season. And in Germany, Borussia Dortmund has strengthened its squad by signing Belgian defender Thorgan Hazard. The Belgian midfielder, I should say, Thorgan Hazard, the younger brother of Eden Hazard, from Bundesliga rivals Borussia Mönchengladbach. Dortmund, which signed German defender Nico Schulz from Hoffenheim on Tuesday, says the 26-year-old Hazard has signed a contract through June 2024. Sporting director Michael Zorc says Hazard has consistently proven his class in recent years. Hazard scored 13 goals in 35 games for Gladbach last season, setting up 12 more since arriving initially on loan from Chelsea in 2014. Hazard scored 46 goals and set up 44 more in 182 competitive games. And let's go to Spain, where Paul Pogba and Eden Hazard joining Real Madrid is possible because great players are always welcome at the club. That's according to Real Madrid defender Rafael Varane. And of course, Madrid have been linked with a big money moves for the Manchester United midfielder and Chelsea winger as Zinedine Zidane looks to rebuild the squad following a disappointing 2018/19 season. Pogba has struggled to stamp his mark on United since returning in 2016 for a then world record £89 million fee, while Hazard appears set to leave Stamford Bridge with just 1 year remaining on his contract at Chelsea. Varane, who has vowed to remain with the club next term, despite links to the likes of United and Juventus, believes players of such caliber will always have a place at the Santiago Bernabeu. And that's the start of the package put together by the Superman, Wisdom Obinna. Mekajana is my name. The sports crew will make a return after the news update at 3 p.m. for today's Sports Live. Until then, do have yourselves a wonderful day out there and keep it locked on those dial. Today, 95.1 FM, the voice of the people. Murakosi. Thank you.
What a goal! Hangs it up for Ronaldo. Oh my God!
Experience the glorious goals rush.